Yeah, you saw the title already. A Mate 60 Pro is my device of choice that I have here. Yes, I know the Mate 70 Pro is out there. Has some updates, especially cameras and a faster processor, more efficient processor, but I stick to the 60 Pro, Mate 60 Pro. Never used it as a main device. Now I'm using it as like a third main device, let's say. Like this, I have a primary device, which is an Honor Magic 6 RSR, a secondary device, which is the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. If I'm not testing any other phone, this will be either my primary or secondary device. And I have a third device, which is always a HarmonyOS Next device, and in this case it's the Mate 60 Pro, my only HarmonyOS Next device, besides maybe my FreeBuds Pro 4 that also running HarmonyOS 5. Let's talk about HarmonyOS 5 and how you can run stuff on it, because I think the Pura X made some people more curious about HarmonyOS 5 as well, because it ships with HarmonyOS 5 by default. And I want to show you a little bit of my experience, my every day-to-day experience with a HarmonyOS Next device or HarmonyOS 5 device, to see how good you can live without Android, without iOS, with HarmonyOS. So let's get started. By the way, I'm filming with the Mate 60 Pro and the internal mics. How well are they sounding here? Front-facing camera, by the way. So first of all, you might be interested, is it running Android? Is it based on Android? Of course it is not. Like I said already in my very long Q&A, it is not based on Android, still not based on Android, and will not be based on Android, so you don't get Android applications by default. But there is DroidTong and EasyAbroad, two apps that allow you to run Android apps in a container. I made a video about it as well. I will put a link down below so you can check this out as well. So how is it to use in everyday today scenarios? It's a bit of weird. Let's say it like this. On the one hand, you enjoy the experience of a very fluid and new operating system that is running more fluid than Android, more fluid than iOS, and yeah, it's a fresh new kind of device. On the other hand, it is a bit of frustrating because you're using a device that is not optimized for the Western market. That means like Android applications is one thing. Apart from this, all the other applications require you, if you want to use them, a Chinese phone number, like WeChat, for example. It's not available for international users there. So you have the normal WeChat, you can install it, but if you want to use it, you have to register or log in with a Chinese phone number only. So the international logins are disabled basically and not supported quite yet right now. And the same goes for everything else there basically, where you have to log in. And the worst is like even games. So even games require you, at least in China, log in via your phone number to identify yourself, and this is not supported here. So this is one of another issue that you will run into. And almost all the games that I try to run are not running on this device. So this can be quite frustrating. This is why I'm not using it as my main device. Maybe I will at one point try it out, how it would look like, but most often you have to rely on the Android container. And the Android container is like a container, so it's a bit separated from the rest of the system, so you don't have the access to all the files. So if I take a photo, for example, with the camera or a video right now, and I want to share it with one of the Android apps, I have to first copy it into the container to be able to access those files with the Android apps. And that's a bit frustrating and cumbersome, because if I want to chat with someone on Telegram and do a nice little video or just want to share a photo, I can snap the photo in my photo application, but I cannot directly share it to Telegram. I have to just first copy it into the Android container and then go into Telegram, and then I'm able to share it. So just an extra step, an extra layer that makes it a little bit slower, and it's a bit cumbersome for sure and can get on your nerves quite quickly. So what does it mean it is only optimized for Chinese devices, apart from the phone issue in the browser? If you try to call certain websites, like for example twitter.com, it will give you a warning, content blocked, as even if you are in Europe, just like I am here in Germany. X.com is working, because I think the censors did not put X.com on the blacklist yet. So this is working if you want to do it. But certain other websites are just simply blocked. And this is an issue because a third-party web browser is available. QQ browser, for example, is completely in Chinese, and yeah, this might be not the alternative that you're searching for. So you end up using the Android container more and more, and all the apps there more and more, with the inconvenience of not being able to access the native file system directly from the Android apps. So this is an issue. The other issue that I noticed, on one hand, I find it very good. Calendar app has a calendar sync feature, and I can even add my Nextcloud web dev address there. It will also list my calendars, but sadly it's not syncing up the events. So big issue there for me, because I cannot see my calendar events. So I have to rely on an Android app again. So I'm stuck in the Android container. The same goes for Google Mail. If I want to access my Google Mail, if you try to use the Huawei Mail application that is running quite nicely with my .web.de address, the Google Mail address, first of all, if you try to add something, no matter what, at gmail.com, it will give you an error message. It's not supported. Here in Germany we have, because of some copyright issues, also googlemail.com, so at googlemail.com instead of at gmail.com. So this one I can also use for login. It works for login, but it's not syncing up any emails, which is like also super weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it is like blocking imap.gmail.com completely for getting all the messages. So another issue that you run into, where you have to rely on Android apps again, because third-party applications are either very rare, or they have the same restrictions as well. So it's a bit of like hard to use here in the West. So what does it mean now? Am I saying no to the devices at all? No. Am I criticizing them at all? No, they are made for a different market, and this is you have to keep in mind and be aware of, that probably as a main device this one would not run. I'm not trying to convince you not to buy the Pura X from the Average Dad Tech Store or some other sources here. If you like the form factor and you like browsing and YouTube watching device, you can buy it, of course. You have to be aware of the limitations that you will run into. It's not your everyday normal smartphone, not only from the form factor, but also from the software wise. So you have to be aware of this and calculate in that you might run into some issues and some workarounds are necessary. And what are those workarounds? I'll show you exactly my setup that I'm running here on the Mate 60 Pro. So let's go into the screen recording and check out how it will look like. Next, or HarmonyOS 5 running on my device. First thing, let's check out what kind of applications I have. You can see some of them here. Let's go to App Gallery and I'll show you how to get the Android apps running. First of all, App Gallery, you find some known icons here, but this is the Chinese Douyin, so no TikTok. Let's go into the apps here, and what I recommend you to install is first of all this blue app here. You can maybe do a screenshot and copy the characters. It's Droid Tong, and the cool thing about Droid Tong, if I open it up here, it will give you an Android container that you can use. It's in English. So you can use it to install applications more easily. Go to applications, have several applications here, but you see one issue already. It is like recommending apps that I never heard of, actually, and that I really don't know about. So this is like a bit of weird. And if you search here for applications like, for example, Chrome, probably won't find it, which is like a bit of an issue. This is why I will recommend you also another application, and this one is called EasyAbroad, and this one is the icon here with the airplane and the characters here. And this one is sadly only available in Chinese, but you can see already in the screenshots that it's offering a lot more apps that you probably know. If I click on open here, it will give you a recommended page first. Actually, it will give you an overview of all your apps that you have installed. In my case, I have some apps installed. Let's go back first of all to the application. It's in Chinese, but it's like the same kind of menu. Here you can see some more applications that you already know, like Google Maps, Uber, Bolt, and some other apps, social media apps eventually as well at one point, shopping apps, Temu, eBay, and so on. So more applications that you know and that you can install with one click. And the source is pretty trustable because they check the apps for compatibility and they're running fine. If you have those apps installed, how to keep them updated is via this list here. You can see I have Telegram, for example, installed, and with a click here I can go and see some information about Telegram as well. By the way, tip number 1, if you cannot read something because it's in Chinese, you cannot read Chinese, hold 2 thumbs. Hold 2 thumbs on your screen until this appears. It will give you a screen here, and on the bottom you have translate screen, and then you can translate the whole screen to English if you want to. And just a few seconds later, it will give you the possibility to read everything there in English, which is quite nice, and I use sometimes if I don't understand what's going on. But to upgrade, you press hold and longer, and then this option there is the one to press, and then it will start updating in the background. You don't have to do anything there. You can just press those to update. Here, this is what I do regularly because I didn't find any other way to do it. If you know another way to do it, but this is how to update applications. Searching for new applications is done here, so you can see you get some suggestions already, like Google is there already, Gmail is there, Uber, Netflix, and so on. And I have some of them installed already. If you install them, if you install EasyAbroad, for example, you will get another folder where all the Android apps will be put in. You cannot drag those icons out of the folder. They have to be in this folder. But you can resize the folder like I did here, for example. And all the applications that you see here, you can see some of them are running fine. Netflix is running fine, not in full HD because the Mate 60 Pro never had the possibility to run Netflix in full HD because wideband level is missing. Telegram is working, X is working, YouTube is working, Discord, Instagram, and so on. Notifications are coming through all natively without any issues. So the notifications are natively coming up, so you don't have any issues with those, which is also, I think, quite fine. And in general, like, the apps are working. Some of the apps I didn't try out, like my bank app is working. But apps like Astral VPN probably will only work within the Android container, not outside, if at all. Curve I didn't try yet, and also Mobiles Bezahlen, which is like the mobile payment system here in Germany for the Sparkasse, which is one of the largest banks here. And this one is also something that I didn't try out yet because I think it needs NFC access and not sure if this is possible. But you can see some of the apps that I have installed here. PayPal is working fine, Gemini is working fine, ChatGPT is working fine, DeepSeek is working fine, CapCut is working fine as well. So those are the Android apps. And yeah, you have this EasyAbroad, you have Droidtong, which is another app, and I have some apps installed also in Droidtong. Also the same concept, it puts them into a folder because Droidtong supports some apps more that the other one doesn't support. Like, for example, if I want to search for apps here, I can search here via Google. Just go to the Google website, search for an app, for an APK file, can download this APK file and then try to install it. And it's not always working because some applications are not supported by Droidtong or by EasyAbroad, but it's not always the same. So, for example, I have this here installed to run Google apps, of course, and YouTube, the revanced flavor is running here. I have F-Droid installed, which allows me in theory to install also more applications like open source applications, which is quite nice. But like I said, not all applications are supported here. So that is probably enough for the Android applications and how they work. Let's go and dive into the native applications a bit more. It's always hard to compromise everything because otherwise I would have like an hour video and probably make a live stream where people can ask questions. Browser. So this is the browser. I can go in here, Huawei browser, in settings, can set certain things up. What I set up is like the search engine. I can edit one search engine, and I added Google in the German flavor here, Google.de, and this is what I typed in. Changed your .de to .com or .fr or whatever your language you like to prefer, and then you have like Google set as the default search engine. You can use it with DuckDuckGo and other search engines as well, like this. And the rest I just left as it is. No issues at all with this browser in regards to showing websites. And I mean, besides like content blocked, such thing is, I think everything else is working, like the websites are working, YouTube and so on. Another feature that I want to show you is like there's an assistant as well. And it's quite clever, the assistant, but it's only speaking Chinese most of the time. You can also ask it in English, like, what is shown here on screen? and it will detect it and will tell you what is shown there on screen. But it probably start in Chinese, telling you.
这是一款名为
You can
Huawei
stop it.
Pura.
Please tell me this in English.
This is a phone called Huawei Pura X. Asterisk.
So you can see, yes, it's kind of working, this assistant here, and can tell you stuff, but you have like do the extra step of telling it, please tell me this in English or such things. Otherwise, it won't work. So yeah, this is the assistant that you have here on board. You can, with the web browser, set some links. For example, I have set a link to ZDF Mediathek, which is like German television, basically something like Netflix, but just for Germany. And we have like here, for example, football that is running right now, and some other things that I can watch here without any issues. So if I start, maybe football probably not, because it's like copyrighted. Maybe everything is copyrighted this year. Start it up. See, it run. Can pause it. I can even like download here. Downloads are not supported in this case because copyright, but I can go to full screen here, such thing, and it will go into full screen. Not sure if it messes up now the screen recording, we will see. But yeah, this is a possibility. So playing back videos, no issues at all with this browser. I like this browser, and you can set up like your own launchers on the desktop. I have some social media apps. These are Chinese social media apps. You can see Bilibili, which is like a YouTube for China. It is only available in Chinese, but if you know a little bit of Chinese, then it's no issue there. And yeah, you can, if you're interested in the Pura X, they have probably more videos. Some of them even with subtitles, others sadly not with subtitles. You can just click on the videos, and sadly for commenting and everything else, you need to have like an account, and the account needs the Chinese phone number. And yeah, Douyin is there for TikTok. Weibo is there, and Youku is another YouTube alternative kind of client for playing videos. I don't want to show you all of them. Music, Huawei Video, App Gallery I already showed you, and some Huawei apps. I like that Huawei Health is there and AI Live, so I can use my smartwatch and my headphones without any issues there, and can control everything that I want to control. The file manager is there. Yes, SD card, because there's a nano memory slot in my Mate 60 Pro. Mate 60 Pro is the last device that has this, I think. And this is something that is pretty handy. You have everything that you want. Network, you can even like share files with macOS, Windows, or Linux PCs, as long as they have a Samba or CIFS share available. So this is possible as well there if you want to exchange data. That's it. Talking probably everything here. I will cut this video later in this app here, which is like you saw from the icon here. Even if you cannot read it, it is the Chinese version of CapCut, and it's working fine. You can see I have already loaded my video in. I can go export it here in 4K 60 frames if I want to, on high bitrate without any issues with video effects and so on. Some things like the effects overview, or if you go into, let's go maybe let's go to the end of this first part here. If I want to add a transition, I have like the transitions now in Chinese here, but you can see the preview of the transitions, and there's no pro, so you don't have to pay for all the transitions. So maybe a trick as well to get rid of the payment. I love CapCut, but it's like getting a bit ridiculous with all the effects and other things that they want to get paid, that you switch to the paid version. That's basically it. Some games I have installed here, like for example this here, Subway Surf, but it was the Subway Surfer will tell you need a Chinese mainland account for it to work, and the same goes for certain other applications. The calendar app I already showed you. My Nextcloud calendar is in here, but if I want to see my events, it is not here. So it's pulling the calendars, but it's not. I have to probably export the ICS file and import it here. Otherwise it won't work. Weather app is working fine. And yeah, some Chinese app, of course, you can remove those apps. WeChat, like I said, it's not supporting anything else besides the Chinese mainline login. And if you need to try it to log in, it's not working. So yeah, most of the time you probably end up using here those Android applications. They are running fine so far, and look like native applications. But yeah, this is the app situation of HarmonyOS 5.0. Again, I think I made the video a little bit too long here. It's like roughly 20 minutes, but in general, I think I have like a little bit too negative kind of atmosphere here. It is still a nice operating system, one of the best and nicest operating systems I used, but it's not optimized for our markets. And this is why, if you are interested in buying the Pura X, think about it. It's a tinkering device. It's a device to experience something new. It's a device maybe to learn the language. It's a device maybe to connect with Chinese people, or to be at the forefront of checking out HarmonyOS before it is coming globally. So you know already the tricks and quirks and other things that you might get with HarmonyOS when it's coming globally, because it's just a matter of time. It is definitely coming globally, but not probably this year, maybe next year. We will see and have to wait. So if you're interested in the Mate 60 Pro and some more videos about HarmonyOS Next, I have tons of them on my channel. And if you're interested in the Pura X, I think you can only get it from the Average Dad tech store right now. I put down the link below as well. And yeah, maybe there's another website as well that has it, but probably they have it for cheaper. So you can order it there. And yeah, let's see. Maybe I will also one day have a Pura X, but I'm not so sure yet if I should click the buy button. What do you think? Write it down in the comment section as well. That's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you have some questions, down in the comments. Until the next time. Bye.